Hello and welcome to the Pumpkin Goose tutorial that I have been struggling to make for the past month. I have never made a tutorial before, so we're just gonna go into it. So here's the finished goose, here's a picture. I sold my original one, so we're gonna make a new one. The original pattern is a modification of this Instagram pattern, so go give that some love, give her some love. And I'm gonna show you how I modified that original one, and also I found this like half finished project of like a traditional pumpkin. I don't make mine like how if you've made pumpkins, you know, like you make a circle and then sew up and down to make the ridges. My original modification did not have that. It was all kind of in one. So maybe I'm just going to try to also just sew on ahead to this. So maybe we'll try two versions. I don't know. Let's go find out together. Let's go make a pumpkin goose. Okay, so we're starting off with a magic ring of 6. Everyone has a different way to make a magic ring. I do mine with a chain 2, and then I go back into the first stitch and then put however many I need. So I'll do a chain 2 and then 6 into the first stitch. I should also mention this is a pretty long pattern. This will take you at least 4 hours. And this is my first tutorial ever, so this is definitely like an intermediate level tutorial or pattern, so you need some experience to follow along, but we're starting with that magic ring of 6. For row number 2, we're going to do an increase all the way around, so in every single stitch we're going to do 2 increases for a total of 12 stitches in the row at the end. So I'm adding my stitch marker here, and then you'll see I add that second single crochet into this one stitch to make it the increase. So just every single one gets 2 single crochets as an increase. I feel like I've seen 100 or so tutorials on like how to crochet, so I feel like I should be better at describing this, but we're just going to roll with it. We're just going to keep going. Okay, now we're going to start seeing the pattern. So for the next one, it is a single crochet and then an increase. Single crochet and then an increase. And we're pretty much going to build up the same way up to 6. So for round number 3, single crochet, increase. Round number 4 will be 2 single crochets. So I did 1 and then did the stitch marker, my second single crochet, and now the increase is almost in frame. But you'll just keep doing that pattern. 2 singles, 1 increase. All right, in round 5, we're starting with that moved stitch marker. So that's 1 single. Here's 2 singles, then the third single, and now this 4th stitch is an increase. So we're going to go in for the first, and then return into it for that second increase. So keep up the pattern. For round number 6, I'm sure you guys can guess by now, we're going to do 4 single crochets and then an increase. So same exact pattern, we're keeping it up. So that's 1, then I'll do 2, 3, 4, and an increase. Round 7, we're going to maintain the same thing. We're going to do 5 single crochets and then an increase, and I promise we are almost done with this like very repetitive part. We're almost there. So 5 and then an increase. We've made it to row number 8, which is our final row of increases. So we're going to do 6 single crochets and then an increase, and this is the last row of increases. So we made it, guys. For rows 9 to 12, we're going to do single crochets for the whole round. So these are 4 very easy, mind-numbing rounds. So I will meet you back here after you do 4 rounds of just single crochets. Row 13's keeping it simple. We're going to do 6 single crochets and then a decrease. So we're going to start getting smaller. This is our last kind of big row. I was really fighting for my life with rows 14 and 15 because this is when my cats decided it was time for breakfast. So I was constantly being harassed by Mr. Noodles, who you just saw, and Fig came in too, of course. But we're just going to do 2 rows of single crochets. So another nice, easy 2 rows. Round 16, we're going to do 5 single crochets and a decrease. Round 17, we're going to do 4 single crochets and a decrease. Round 18 will be 3 single crochets and a decrease, and finally round 19 will be 2 single crochets and a decrease, and then we are all done with orange. So meet me back when you're all done with orange. All right, to make the lines down the pumpkin, I'm not going to say this is the best way, but it's just kind of the way I was doing it. You need probably about 1.5 feet of ribbon for each, or not ribbon, yarn for each strip. I cut these pretty short because I'm low on yarn and I wanted to make sure I had enough for the hat at the end, but cut yours longer. Okay, so take your needle and put it through that top row of stitches and leave a little tail, a longer tail than this, because you'll have more yarn. I'm working on on little scraps here. And then you're also going to put it into the bottom and then across about 3 stitches and out again. Okay, and then we're going to come back up to the top row we were just working on, and then probably 4 or so stitches away from where we put it in, we're going to stick it in again. So you'll see how it kind of creates those lines, and then we're going to tie those 2 at the top. You don't have to pull very hard because like the cotton inside or whatever you stuff it with will kind of naturally push out the rest of the pumpkin. So I just kind of pulled it a little teeny bit, and now I'm just tying a knot to kind of hold it together. And then I'll show you on another one as well. Okay, so we are going from the inside out, and we're going to pull it through and leave a little tail. Again, maybe 3 or 4 stitches away from the previous one. And then we're going to go to the bottom and put it in about 3 stitches away from the previous one. And then pop it out again about 3 stitches away. Then you're going to struggle, fight for your life a little bit. Is it really a good crochet project if you're not fighting for your life? And then come up to the top and then stick it in about 3 away. And again, just tie the 2 ends together to hold it. Don't pull it too tight or it'll all fold together like that. Again, you need way more yarn than this. Give yourself a good amount of yarn. And then you'll just tie them together and it should hold. For my pumpkins, I like to do like 6 sections. So I'm just going to do 1 more section here, and then I'm going to be all done adding on those like line details. So I'll just kind of speed it up for you. But same procedure, kind of about 3 stitches away, go in, and then come back out 3 stitches down. This is a great point to start stuffing your pumpkin because you can start seeing the general shape, and it's going to get harder from here on out to stuff because we're going to start building up the neck of the goose. So start your stuffing, start feeling out the shape of your pumpkin, and kind of just enjoy what's going on. Now we're going to transition to our white yarn, and we're going to go from row 20 up to 30 single crochets straight up. So it's 11 rows of single crochets. This is a great time to put on your new YouTube video, to watch the next episode of your sitcom, because it's going to take a while. This is a long process, but I believe in you. So I'll meet you back here after 11 rows of single crochets. Rounds 31 and 32 are going to be nice and simple. For 31, we're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase. And round 32, we're going to do 3 single crochets and an increase. So we're just building up another little ball shape for the top. For rounds 33 to 36, we're going to do just 4 rows of single crochets. So 4 rows straight up. Now we're going to decrease again. So for 37, we're going to do 3 singles and a decrease. For round 38, we're going to do 2 singles and a decrease. We're aiming to get the eyes around round 35 and 36, so count back about 3 rows and stick in your eyes about 5 stitches apart. And it's finally time to finish off this behemoth of a project, so we're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease, and then for our final round, number 40, we're going to do 6 decreases, and then we can finish it off and sew the hole shut. Now we're going to start making all the little accessories to sew onto it. So we're going to start with the pumpkin hat. So we're going to do a magic ring of 8 and build it up normally. So we're going to do 8 increases. And then for round 3, we'll do a single increase. And then for round 4, we'll do 2 singles and an increase. So a pretty normal circle build. And that'll be the kind of the base of the hat for us. Okay, so we've got the all-in-one low sew goose done. And then we're doing version 2, I've got the head and the hat made, and now we're going to do 2 beaks. This is all the white I had left, and this is all of the, ooh, it's got a cat hair on it, all of the orange I had left. So that'll make a couple of chicken combs, but honestly, like so perfect, and we're loving that. So to do the beak, we are going to chain 7, and we're also going to see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if this is any easier to do while I'm talking while I'm doing it, because like doing the video and then recording over it, kind of the worst. So we're gonna go back. So here's first, second from hook. We're gonna go in and do 5 single crochets. 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do an increase. And we should be on that last one. So the increase should kind of make a nice little curve for us. So that's 1. And then into that same 1, but it kind of creates the turn of the oval. Okay, and then we're gonna go 6 back. I hope that's the next one. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when you're doing the ovals. 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoa, maybe 4. Oh, we're gonna find out. 5. Sorry, my dog is so loud in all things he does. And 6. And that is our little beak. I'm actually gonna do to finish it off, I'm gonna do a little slip stitch there. Gonna give her a nice long tail for sewing. And I'm gonna make one more of those. So that's our beak, it's gonna go right there. All right, and for our final little bit that we need to sew on, we're gonna make the foot. So we're gonna do 8 in a magic circle. So 1, get your stitch marker. Also, this is way better than how I was doing it before. 2, 3, I don't know how it'll look when I'm trying to edit it, I guess, but I feel like it feels better. 4, 5, only downside is now you're gonna hear my loud breathing. 6, 7, I feel like I'm not noticing the video as much. I don't know if people do this. I think it takes a lot of practice. 8. All right, so now we're gonna do a single and an increase. 1, 2, and that number 2 is actually an increase. For round 3, we're going to do 4 single crochets, then a decrease. For round 4, we're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. All right, and then in the same vein, we're going to do 2, and then shocker, a decrease. Oh my gosh, you definitely couldn't see that. I'm so sorry. 2. If you guys have ever seen the movie Mean Girls, I think it's in Mean Girls. I don't know, there's a movie where they're like, she can't like chew gum and talk at the same time. She keeps like trying to chew the gum and then stopping and then going. That's me. That's me trying to film and talk. We're gonna do 3 rounds of 6, so straight up 3 rounds. There we go. We survived. We made it. So we're gonna take out our stitch marker and we're gonna kind of squeeze the foot in half, and we're gonna do 3 singles across through both sides. So here's 1 that went through both sides. So 1. I didn't say it was easy. 2, that one was easy. And then 3 right at the end. And that makes it like flat because it like pulls the 2 sides together as like a row of singles across. All right, so you need to do 1 more of those. And since I have 2 gooses, I'm gonna do 2 more of those. So there's a foot. So I will make 3 more, you will make 1 more. All right, home stretch, we're gonna crochet 7 for our stem. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're gonna go in that second one and we're gonna do a slip stitch. And then slip stitch all the way down, give it that nice little curve. And this is awesome because after this, we're just gonna do some sewing. You can see in the background, I already sewed together the other goose, just so you can see him all together. And even though that way is a little bit more sewing, I think I actually prefer it. And I'll show you at the end kind of the differences. Now we're gonna cut it. And we've got a cute little stem. Sew it right in the middle of the pumpkin. I'm gonna sew it in kind of funky, that's all right. Get this one in. Get it in there. See how that looks? If you want it to be even longer, you can make a longer tail. I like mine short and it gets cute. Kind of see it in the guy in the back over there. It gets cute, just kind of a little shorty. Then we're just going to tie it up to hold it in place and then sew it right on his head. I like to sew it slightly askew. So I'm gonna put it kind of like this. Put it kind of like this, a little bit forward. And we're going to put it in. And then I do back loop only of the top. I guess that would probably be the front loop, huh? It's hard to tell. So front loop, just to try to get it to stick up a little bit more so it's not like flat to his head. But I'm gonna go all the way around. I do not have the fancy crochet sticks. maybe one day we'll make those together. Maybe we'll do like a little craft day together, but I do not have those now. So we just kind of do it asymmetrical style. So I'm gonna go all the way around and I'll meet you back when this is fully connected. All right, our cute little hat is on. So now we're gonna put our beak on. So we're just gonna try to, I usually follow the lines on the face. So like for the bottom of the beak, I'll just go across this whole row, and then I'll use the one right above for the top. And that'll kind of help push it out a little bit so it's not flat. So I'm gonna try to get it about in the middle, remembering he's a silly goose, so it's okay if it's not. So I think that'll get us about at the middle. Come up with the next one. There's no science to this. Just do your best. Up the next. Probably should have started with the top of the beak. Probably would have held it a little bit better, huh? Okay, this one. Looks about the next stitch. That one, that's looking good. Should be 2 more stitches over. 1, 2, okay. Now, we're gonna do the row right above to kind of get poof out a little bit. So we're gonna go in. Oops. Would be nice if you could see what I'm doing. Not in. I might put a little bit too close. Oh, I can work. In. Oh, I think it was actually perfect. Don't we love when that happens? Then we will finish her off, and there is our cute little beak. Final part, we're gonna do the feet. So I usually just kind of hold them onto it, and I want to do it towards the bottom. So I think I'm gonna do that kind of close to the bottom row there. Right up there. We're just gonna go right across. It's a trust process I use. Isn't everything like a trust process I use though? No, more. All right, look at how cute that is. All right, so I'm gonna sew on the other one and then meet you back here. Oh my goodness, he's done. Oh. All right, let me know in the comments if yours takes 4 hours, because I feel like, you know, you look at it and you're like, there's no way that takes 4 hours, but mine always do. So actually, I'm gonna set these next to each other. I kind of love the one that takes a little more sewing. Like, I kind of love how this turned out. But then this one is quicker and uses less materials, so tough call. I think they're both really cute though. Look at that. So I will, just because I didn't show this in the video, I'll put this pattern in a comment on how to do like the separate pumpkin. It has more sewing, but visually kind of worth it. I have taken these to markets before. They're like a good eye catcher, but the amount of work that goes into them is not super conducive to market. So I'll usually bring one and like kind of set it up high. And then I charge like 45 bucks for them because they do take so long. But hopefully this was helpful. You know, it was a little bit of a rough first tutorial, but I feel like I learned a lot. So hopefully we can do a better one next time. I have an idea. Maybe we'll do like a little human body with a goose head. Might be kind of fun. I have a pumpkin boy that's like an original design of mine that we might do. And I'm thinking maybe we'll do like a chicken masterclass maybe. Would be fun. I don't know, but that's all for future choices. So let me know in the comments, do you like separate pumpkin head or all in one low sew? Let me know. Catch you next time.